Hey, guess what? That's right. We're going to talk about Judge Brett Kavanaugh again. That's right. Third episode. But here's a little twist to it. Madison Gesiotto is going to be on with us to talk about it. So there, it makes it a whole lot better. Just to let you know. Also, Senator Ted Cruz was the latest to be harassed by protesters at a restaurant in Washington, D.C. on Monday night. We're going to talk a little bit about that, all that, and whatever else is on my mind on this episode of Trend Chat.
From the highways of America, here's the podcast where we talk politics, a little entertainment, some culture, and this and that, from the road to your ears. This is Trend Chat with your host, Brian Bledsoe.
And welcome everybody to another episode of Trend Chat. I'm your host, Brian Bledsoe, and if you want to connect with us, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. It's all the same name, Trend Chat 24/7. Yes, that's right. Here we are. You know, it's funny, the fact that we're not a daily show. We're definitely not the daily show. Definitely want to say that. I mean, but that doesn't have to be said really, but I can only imagine talking about this whole Kavanaugh situation like every day. But, you know, that's not something we have to worry about. But here we are. This is like I said, this third episode in a row at least. I think we mentioned, obviously I think we mentioned it back when he was announced. But here we are again, and we're going to talk, not nearly, well, I can't say we're going to talk that much because who knows? But I know we're going to have our conversation with Madison Gesiotto later on. So we're going to have that. But first, I do want to mention about what happened on Monday. So, like I mentioned in the beginning, Senator Ted Cruz was, as normal people do at a restaurant, just having a meal. And he's become the latest of a string of people who are, whether just basically being Republican, basically, or even supportive of the Trump administration. And those people are automatically singled out. They're targeted to be shouted at, chanted at, wherever they at in public. Kind of taking the cue from Maxine Waters that made her basically, she was saying that wherever you see them to, basically disrupt whatever their daily lives, regardless of where. And so this was another example of that. And so they were like I said, Senator Cruz and his wife were at this restaurant, and all of a sudden these protesters just come into this restaurant and just start shouting, and to the point to where Senator Cruz left. And yeah, like I said, he's just the latest, because you had this happen to Attorney General Jeff Sessions, and I guess people probably forgotten what happened to Sarah Sanders at the Red Hen again, and on and on. It's been more than that. But I did notice one thing when I saw the video is, and if you saw the video, I'm guessing if you're listening to this, you probably already seen it. But one thing, they were coming out, they were screaming the chant, "We believe survivors." It was like, "We believe survivors." You know what? I actually think, that's cool and all. That's a nice chant that they had, but I think they had a longer chant, but it just didn't flow right, so they kind of shortened it down to that. Because I mean, this is what their chant was. We believe survivors who sully the reputation of anyone who is Republican, conservative, or anyone against our leftist agenda. But if you're on our side, we really don't care. I mean, it's kind of hard to really chant all of that. I mean, you can, but it's not witty. It's not snappy. It's not a snappy little chant like "We believe survivors." So they kind of shorten it down. I mean, can you imagine during your women's march or whatever march or whenever you're protesting or shouting down anybody that's, like I said, anyone that is conservative or Republican, or like I said, just anyone who is not agreeing with their leftist agenda. Yeah. Let's see. Let's try to chant one more time. Listen. We believe survivors who sully the reputation of anyone who is Republican, conservative, or anyone just against. See, I can't even do it. Like, yeah, and you have to keep constantly doing that chant. Yeah, I can understand how that's a little much. So yeah, I guess so. You need just shorten it down. Just say we believe survivors. Just leave out the truth. Really, just go with those 3 little words and keep chanting that. So anyway, and it's funny with this is happening to Senator Cruz. Now I don't know. Has old Robert O'Rourke, has he condemned what has happened to Senator Cruz or not? I don't know. And if he did, I'm pretty sure he probably said something like, "Well, we don't agree with doing these actions of these people that protest, and we believe in civil discourse," or whatever. If he even said that, and even if he did, I don't believe him. And I think he's very, he just saying it because he have to, or he probably haven't said nothing at all. I don't really know. Honestly, I have been in a black hole today, to be honest. I have been traveling through I don't want to call it the Indian nation, the Native American reservations for most of today. And one thing I've learned is that they don't, the cell towers don't work when I'm driving through those reservations or wherever those territories, wherever. I just know this. I had cell coverage this morning, and I just got it back like about an hour ago. But all day it's been nothing but no data, or if I got anything, it's roaming. But anyway, speaking of roaming, I'm ranting. But I guess I was just thinking, because I don't know if O'Rourke has said anything about what has happened, but even if he did, I'm pretty sure that he doesn't have that big of a problem about what they did. So that's how I think. I'm pretty sure. I feel pretty confident saying that. So yeah, so that's actually I kind of hope this should help Senator Cruz as far as having everyone to see how crazy these people are as far as just wanting to disrupt someone at a restaurant, just having a meal like everybody else. But yet, no, you can't escape politics, or you can't be safe anywhere. We're going to harass you at every turn. We must #resist at every turn, because everything is just on fire in their mind. It's just the world is on fire in their mind because of this of the administration. Trump, just the simple fact of him being in the White House is just made these people lose their mind. That kind of goes into what I was thinking about as far as this whole Kavanaugh situation. But before we even get into that, because we're gonna also, like I said, we're gonna have our interview with Madison, and we're gonna make sure we have time for that. But before we get into any of that, let's hear a word from our friends from the Founder Project.
Hello to fans of Trend Chat and Brian Bledsoe. The Founding Project, an education nonprofit dedicated to civics, invites you to visit our brand new website, Visit us at thefoundingproject.com. Be a part of the civics movement with The Founding Project. The Founding Project is a 501c3 education nonprofit. Please join us today.
Hey everyone, this is Amy Robbins with Alexa Athletica, and you're listening to Trend Chat.
So, here we are. This is the Kavanaugh segment. One thing I mentioned is that it seems like there is another accusation every day now. I mean, right now are we at 4 or 5 now? And so far, from what I'm hearing, they're all around the same time, which is something I kind of found a little puzzling as well, because I'm like, why don't you just why are these accusations kind of around the same time? I mean, I kind of feel like if you wanted to prove something, wouldn't there be something else? Maybe something a little more recent? Maybe in the past 20 years as opposed to the past 35? But I don't know. But I know one thing. Michael Avenatti, I probably butchered his name, but I don't care. But anyway, Stormy Daniels' lawyer, the porn star who now has written a book about her affair with Donald Trump back in the day and all that. Her lawyer, Michael Avenatti, who is been open and saying that he is considering running for president. And that's what, it's not like a real big laugh, because hey, don't laugh, don't underestimate how far he can go. So if he runs, who knows? So, but yeah, he said that. But yeah, anyway, now that he is involved, he said he has tape or has knowledge about Brett Kavanaugh's and rape and a gang rape now. And I mean, like I said, it's just the accusations are getting more and more salacious and more, I guess, depraved, really. And I feel like this is systematically being orchestrated. That's what it feels like to me. And now with this guy involved, the credibility is definitely going down, at least to me. All we need now is Gloria Allred to show up. And then after that, yeah, it's a done deal. And like if she shows up next, like tomorrow, and she says, well, I represent another accuser. You know what? If I'm in the judiciary committee, oh, it's been a long day. But yeah, I would, as soon as I saw Allred pop up on my screen, you know what? We're voting now. Because now all of this is nonsense. As soon as she pops up. I mean, it's already bad enough you got Avenatti showing up. So, but now okay. I've been thinking about this all day, and I've been thinking about whether I want to say it or not, but I'm going to say it now. So, look, I know this is going to kind of sound like a conspiracy theory or whatever, but just hear me out for a second. Just hear me out. For one, now, this shouldn't be controversial at all. We should all be skeptical when it comes to these accusations, especially when you have such a lack of evidence. I mean, that should be a no-brainer. But here's the thing. I mean, look at the incentive someone has to fabricate this kind of information, to just basically lie about, make up accusation. Just think about the incentive of doing such a thing. One, you will stop Kavanaugh from being confirmed. Okay. Two, if you achieve that, then it's almost guaranteed that the next nominee will not be will have to basically turn out after the midterm election, which makes it an issue for the Democrats, to bring up another point to say, hey, you better vote Democratic because you saw what type of crazy person that Trump appointed. He nominated, so you better vote for us so we can be a check on Trump. So that that can happen. And in the far way astronomical chances of I want to say that, but it's not that far-fetched, but Democrats could win the Senate or take control of the Senate. And if that happens, and if you've already stopped Kavanaugh with these accusations and now you've made it a midterm election issue, and then somehow, some way, Democrats take control of the Senate, now they can basically block whoever President Trump nominates to 2021 if they want to. When the next, when it comes, well, it'll be after 2020. But like I said, when the person, if they kept control of the Senate or even lost control of the Senate in 2020, but they still would have been able to delay anything President Trump wanted to do for all that time. So that would be a win for them. So if you have the left, Democrats, the media, all of them basically one and the same. You see through their visceral and hyperbolic attitude. I mean, how crazy and out of their mind they are about this administration. I mean, they made it very clear that they're fearful and in some cases feel physically threatened just by President Trump. I mean, it's all hashtag resist at all costs to them. That's kind of goes back to how they're shouting at Senator Cruz at the restaurant. Like, it's all just so much. I mean, it's kind of mind numbing to me how out of their minds these people are. But they are. And they are like really scared. Or at least they say that they are. And would it be that much of a stretch? With all of that, if they feel so threatened that the state of the world is at stake by having the Trump administration in office one more day, and they must fight him at every point, every day, every minute. And if it's that serious, if they feel that threatened, is it that much of a stretch to have someone to lie? Is it really? I mean, it would be considered noble to even do such a thing. I mean, because it's to stop an evil administration in their eyes. If they see him as literally Hitler, what is it to lie? Tell a little white lie in their eyes to stop such an evil person in their eyes. They just see him as, like I said, he's the devil incarnate to them. So what? If I tell a little lie here to make up some accusations, I mean, why would that be such a stretch? Especially if these people feel so, they'll feel justified in stopping this administration for the greater good. They'll be looked at as a hero. So what? You will be found out as a liar. So what if it turns to find out that what you were accusing someone turned out to be totally false? So what? for the people on the left, what? So, I mean, the only thing that will really happen is that they're go in obscurity, or if not that, they'll get a nice cushy job in the media somewhere, or go around giving lectures to different universities. They'll welcome them in with open arms and say, "Well, you're a hero." I mean, what you alleged was false, but you know what? You tried because it was worth it, because you were trying to stop such evil in this world, this evil regime of the Trump administration. So that person will be a hero. And so, yeah. Well, whenever these situations come up, I think we should be very skeptical. I mean, if these people are as scared of this administration that they say they are, honestly, why not? That all this to say that, why not? Why wouldn't they just lie? Because, I mean, it's all, like I said, it's all for the greater good, right? It's all because, as if you listen to the people at Google, they were fearing of World War III coming. And I mean, I don't know if y'all saw the videos of the people at Google and how distraught they were, and how they talk about being fearful. I mean, I watched the whole thing for an hour, and they use the word fear so many times, or something akin to fear. And so if these people feel this way, feel like the world is going to collapse because of this administration, like I said before, why wouldn't they feel justified in just doing whatever it takes, by all means necessary, to take down Trump in their eyes? Why not? I mean, the greater good is at stake here, people. That's how they see it. And yeah, that's kind of how I feel about what's going on right now. It could be true, but I would not be surprised if all of this is just lies, really, honestly. And I would be, it wouldn't surprise me if, say for instance, all this happens, they do the hearing and whatnot, which is on Thursday, but then Kavanaugh gets confirmed, and then next thing you know, all these accusations just disappear. That they just, don't hear from him again, mainly because it didn't work, or someone might, go the Anita Hill route and continue keep saying that, well, I brought my story out, but they didn't believe me. And then, like I said, go around giving lectures at universities and being hailed as a hero regardless of the lack of evidence. Because, I mean, that's what the left wants to believe anyway. And, they have many friends in the media that will be more than happy to help in that narrative, regardless of, like I said, of any evidence of anything. Just taking their word for it because whatever. So, anyway, that's something I just really had to get off my chest. I've been thinking about talking about it, but I'm like, this kind of sounds like conspiracy theory, but hey, this is my show. I'm just gonna say it. So anyway, let's get to our interview about guess who. Of course, we're going to talk about Judge Brett Kavanaugh with Madison Gesiotto. But before that, let's hear a word about politics. Hello, this is Brian Bledsoe, host of Trend Chat, also contributor at politichicks.com. Here to tell you about the new book called Politichicks, A Clarion Call to Political Activism, with over 300 pages from contributors like myself, talking about topics such as education, social issues, healthcare, the Second Amendment, and of course, activism. I encourage you all to check it out at politichicks.com, and is also available at Amazon and Barnes & Noble. So, here we are. Like I said, we're gonna have a few minutes with Madison to talk about more of the legal implications are, if any. So, but we're going to talk about that. I mean, the last time we spoke with Madison was CPAC 2017. So, kind of glad, glad that we were able to get a couple of minutes to speak with her. If you don't know, Madison Gesiotto, she's frequently on Fox News, and with that, because of her schedule, we're glad to get a couple of minutes to talk about these allegations and to see, where we're going from here. So, without further ado, let's hear our interview with Madison. So, we've been talking about Brett Kavanaugh like forever now, almost, it feels like. But all this been,
doesn't it?
yeah, I know, but it's all been like focused politically. And I don't have a law degree, so I've been yapping about it. But that's my opinion. I want to ask you, since you have the law degree, what does this mean legally? Like, what are the legal implications of these accusations toward Brett Kavanaugh, if anything?
There really isn't any right now. I think we've heard a lot of things spiraling around that have been very inaccurate. Obviously, as I'm sure most people have heard on the news, that the statute's up when it comes to the first accusation. Things have gotten really taken out of context. They're talking about wanting an FBI investigation. Even if someone came forward with an allegation like this over 30 years ago, this wouldn't be an FBI issue. It's not a federal crime. It wouldn't be a federal case. So there would be no standing to have the FBI investigation. So I think it's been very confusing for people who aren't attorneys or don't have that legal background to kind of shuffle through all of this because of the inaccurate information we're seeing. Another thing that's really bothered me that I've talked about for a few weeks now, and actually talked about a year ago on other issues similar to this, is the fact that, innocent until proven guilty. It's a cornerstone to our legal system and our justice system here in the United States. But at the same time, we're not really seeing that type of treatment in the media, in public opinion, and arguably maybe sometimes, in the justice system for men in this country. And that's been a huge problem that I've seen with this. A lot of people are calling someone guilty until proven innocent, and that's not the way it needs to be, and that's not the way it should be.
And also, I guess I want to ask too, like, these are serious allegations, but the thing I want to ask is, could they have gone to the police even though it's been, this long still?
I mean, once the statute's up, you could go to the police, but there's not going to be a crime. When you're talking specifically about the first one, the statute would be up for a sexual assault. Again, if it were to be a true allegation, there's really nothing that can be done at this point from a police perspective.
Okay.
On that one specific case.
Okay, and now, in the past couple of days, we have a second accuser as well. And, I mean, it's basically around the same time, correct?
Yeah, I think it was maybe a few years later. She came out saying about how she claimed that he had exposed himself when he was at Yale to her. So the first one was when he was in high school, 17, he was a minor, which also makes things a little different. The second one would have been in college a few years later, but it's still, well past the statute on that.
Now, with the second accuser, from those details, I mean, the definition of sexual assault, I mean, does that cover that by her details?
I mean, I haven't really seen as much about the second allegation, but from what I understand, arguably, yes, it could it be, a crime, but the statute would be up regardless, even if it was argued to have fallen under that. So it doesn't matter at this point. And again, these are allegations. These aren't proven. There's, no reason for us to believe that this actually happened. Again, innocent until proven guilty. And from a lot of the things coming forward, I always am someone who like to give people the benefit of the doubt, hear out what they have to say, but it seems very political at this point. The timing seems very interesting, very suspicious. And it's just, at first I kind of sat back and really let things play out. But over the past 2 days, I've been a little frustrated because I think Brett Kavanaugh is a good man, and I don't feel that these seem to be true allegations. And I've been a little disappointed because just as much as we need to be worried about, women or men in this country who are sexually assaulted and making sure that they get justice, I think we also need to be worried about men whose lives could be ruined by false allegations. You're a man. I have lots of friends that are men. I have a brother. I have a dad. Do we all have people in our lives that we care about? And to see someone's life get ruined over a false allegation is absolutely horrific. And I would argue it's just as bad. as getting your life ruined by something else, like a sexual assault. I work with a lot of women who have been raped. I worked with women who have been raped to become pregnant and kept their children, and they've had a lot of issues because of that, and they've dealt with massive trauma. But at the same time, you work through that, and that's something that when your life is ruined by a false allegation, that's something sometimes you can never recover from. You can sometimes not get a job anymore. I mean, it can ruin your entire life. It can ruin everything for you.
I mean, even talking about the Supreme Court, you have Justice Thomas. I mean, even with everything that happened with Anita Hill, they still have that hanging over his head just from that. And I feel like this is kind of going to be the same thing that's going to kind of follow Brett Kavanaugh, even regardless if it finds out that nothing happened. No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you've seen a lot of the cases that we've seen where women on college campuses claim to have been raped, it comes out later that they were lying. And these men have come forward talking about my life was ruined, my career was ruined. And what do you do at that point? Because guess what? Millions of people in this country are still going to believe that's true because they may have seen the news originally where this person came out, lied, and said this, but they never saw the follow-up.
Yeah.
Where it came out that this person was actually innocent, and that's what's very concerning. I mean, and that's difficult because what are you going to do about that? There's not much you can do as a victim of the false allegation.
Yeah. So do you think now that we have this other accusation, I mean, are we going to have the vote delayed even more because?
I don't know. I hope not. I don't think that there's anything at this point that has been brought to our attention that would warrant a delay again. But I don't know what they're going to do. As you and I both know, a lot of times Congress doesn't do what we want, even though they work for us, and that can be frustrating. So I think we'll have to just wait and see what they ultimately do. But I don't think at this point, with what we have out now, it would be a wise decision for them to make, nor would it be really in the interest of justice or in the interest of this nomination.
Well, given from what we already spoken about, I'm guessing with the statute of limitations passing, I guess that gives them more reason to go to politicians and the media, maybe in their eyes, to try to get something, some sort of justice, even if, like I said, if these allegations are even true.
Right. I mean, if the allegations were true, I don't know what everybody's different. Everyone who's been through a sexual assault or something like that will react differently, and I can't really say what would be the best for everybody. But at the same time, again, we don't know if these are true. And for me personally, I don't think my decision would be to go to media or go to politicians if I were the victim in this case. If there even was a victim, which I don't believe at this point that there seems to have been. And
because of the initial delay, that basically going to make the term for the Supreme Court start with 8 justices, correct?
Yes.
So and how long? I mean, if everything goes somewhat smoothly now, and the confirmation goes through, when will he probably be seated? Given that he most likely will be confirmed.
Right. So it's hard to say. I'm thinking if we can get through this week, and hopefully it will move quickly. And when new cases, are argued in front of the Supreme Court, we'll have him as that 9th justice. But there's a chance it could take longer, and then he won't be seated, and there'll be simply 8 on a lot of those cases. And legally, you can function with 8 justices. It doesn't say in the Constitution that you need to have 9 justices specifically. There's been times where we've had less, even less than 8. But I think that it would be in the best interest and clearly what the people want for it to move a little quicker and for him to get through. The delay tactics have been not shocking, but disappointing.
All right. Madison, thanks so much for your time.
Of course. Always happy to be with you.
Yep, and thanks to Madison for joining us. And if on social media, you can find her on Instagram at Real Madison Gesiotto, and on Twitter at Madison Gesiotto, and also on Facebook, just search Madison Gesiotto. Also, MadisonGesiotto.com as well. So, again, thanks to Madison for joining us, and I'm guessing by next week, because I'm guessing this is going to be it for this week. I'm not anticipating having another episode this week, especially because on Thursday I will be at the Texas Tribune Festival. So I'm pretty sure I won't have anything, or at least, well, I'll be there the whole day. And actually, it's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So if anybody's listening, if you're going to be there, I'll be there too. So that'd be kind of funny. I think one time I came across someone who actually said, "Hey, I listened to the show." That was like surreal, but that was kind of crazy. But yeah, so yeah, that's where I'll be this weekend. Well, Thursday and Friday. I don't think I'm gonna stay on Saturday. Got to get back on the road. Got to make this money. But yeah, so hopefully by next week, for the next episode, we'll be talking about the only thing I hope I'm talking about, next week will be Justice Brett Kavanaugh, because he was confirmed and he's go ahead and he's seated in the Supreme Court. Hopefully that's what I'll be talking about when I come back next week, and hopefully I'll get some interviews at the festival. There are a few people that are going to be speaking that I really want to talk to, and hopefully I get a chance to speak with some of them. People that have podcasts that I listen to, and I'm hoping I can get some interviews, and if I do, I most definitely will be playing them on here. So I appreciate everyone listening. I really do. And I just, I look at the numbers, and I tell you, I see I guess I see what's on there as far as people listening, how many times episode is listened to, and it's funny to see more than one, because I always gonna bet on at least one play each episode, which would be my mom. So if you listen, Mom, I know you are. Hey, so I expect to get one, but to get more than that is great. So like I said, I appreciate y'all listening, and until next week, we'll chat with you later.